inside. He would direct 2 students to do the dissection, and the senior students would be in the lower levels, while the freshman students would be up in the nosebleed seats. And you can kind of put yourself in the place of a student watching that lecture. It would have been February, so cold outside, but you would be packed into this room with 250 other students. They would watch these lectures for maybe 8 hours a day. It would take at least a week to dissect the entire body, and during this time, the corpse is actively decomposing. So it got quite stinky. Also, all they had was candlelight to light the room. They would put them just around the body, so it was really dark in the room, probably a little hard to breathe sometimes. And students were known for passing out during these dissection lectures. So they built this theater specifically so that the rolls were really narrow and the balustrade comes up higher. So they wouldn't fall forward into the theater, they would just kind of slump there and wait to wake them up. They wouldn't stop the lectures for these students because they had to keep going. So every year there were 2 official dissections here at the University of Padua. This would be a male and a female body donated from Venetian prisons. The only rule was that these people could not be citizens of Padua or of Venice. They may have been executed, they may have died naturally, but they would be transported by boat up the canal to the back of the building at night. And then they would bring them in here, clean them up. They would do the dissection, the next week bring the body back after it had all been cut open, and they would literally boil it in a large cauldron, we could say, to clean the bones and remove the flesh. Then they would keep the skeleton and use that for medical lectures, but the remains were given a proper burial paid for by the students themselves. So in keeping with this, honoring the tradition of people, let's say, giving up their bodies for science, even if these people didn't know that they were going to become a science experiment, the School of Medicine has a motto over the door there that's Mors ubi gaudet succurrere vitae, and that means that this is the place where death rejoices in helping life. One more important man that we have to talk about here in this room is Andrea Vesalius. He was the head of anatomy and surgery for 6 years here. He studied medicine and graduated in 1537. When he finished his professorship in 1542, he published the first anatomy book that was very scientific and observed what was inside the bodies accurately rather than being based on theologic teachings. So we'll talk about him as well in the next room. Okay,
Question. Were artists allowed to come in? Because I noticed a lot of artists studied anatomy as well.
Well, I'm not sure about attending the lectures. Like, for instance, local politicians were allowed to attend. I think you could probably buy a ticket. But Andrea Vesalius actually worked with Venetian artists in order